Hey there. Let's talk about my studio. I mean, sure, I guess first we could talk about my hair. I could use a little trim. All right, so I don't have a studio out here in California yet. There's like a little room above my garage that I'm trying to turn into a studio. It's not ready yet, but a lot happened to my New York City studio before I left the city. If you remember, I had like two studios connected and it made one studio, and I had to give the big side back. So I had to take this much space and this much stuff and put it in this much space and make it this much stuff. And it was a hell of a process. So let's go back to New York City right now. Hey guys, what's up here? Casey from back in New York City in my studio. Just want to say thank you to whoever sent me this puppet. The resemblance is uncanny. Okay, so I'm sure from your perspective, this place looks unchanged, but I assure you the changes are significant, and I want to get into all of them, including the fact that where there was once an entirely other studio, there's now a wall. Remember, the boosted boards used to be on the red wall? No more boosted boards. Okay, we'll get into that, but first, I want to show you what used to be the other half of the studio. It looks good in there, so I could shoot this video, but it's a disaster out here. So this is probably the perspective you're most familiar with. This used to be like my desk. Like I used to sit right here, and then like this wall wasn't here, and this is the studio. Behind me here was like where my wall of surveillance was, and I had the monitor here that had the like the Godfather playing on the loop. That was there. This is my desk. This is where I work all day, every day. Hey, back in California again. Sorry for the interruption. I needed some like really good footage of the studio before all this construction took place. So I'm using footage from a video Marques Brownlee made about my studio.
It's one of the most neat and organized spaces.
Awesome video. If you want to see it, it's linked below on Marques's channel. But Marques, I hope it's cool that I'm just stealing all your footage of my studio. Oh, okay. The crown jewel of the studio, my Polaroid wall. This is the Polaroid wall. Now it's just a wall. These are all the pictures. Every one of them. I mean, of course I saved them and I just put them in a book. There was like the white glass wall here, like this is where the doorway was that I used to walk out of all the time. These are my rings. I made so many videos with these rings. Now the speed bag's still here. It's still here because Sam, who's taking the space, wants to use it. I can't blame him. I remember building this thing. Okay, all right, enough. And this trash heap here, this used to be it. This is where all my cameras were. The big screen was here with the gaming setup, and the couch was over there. Now it's just a hollow shell. Knowing that what used to be my studio is being put to really good use. Sam? Hello!
How you doing, boy chick?
Nice to see you.
Is this the first time you've met my dad?
I think it's the first time we've ever met. Aren't you so proud of your son?
Very proud.
Me too.
And thank you for all your help.
Sam, I was just saying that, well, maybe it's a little bit sad.
But it's like a new chapter, I think, for both of us. And I have like big shoes to fill.
It's not so sad to give that space up knowing that you're gonna be in it. Sam, I'll see you in California.
Definitely. I'll see you in like a week, probably.
Hey, so this is actually a sponsored video. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN is the best VPN. If you go to nordvpn.com/Casey, you get 75% off a 3-year plan. If you put in code Casey, you get an extra free month. Actually, I already recorded this whole commercial for Nord back in my studio, but it was like the day before we started renovations. So I didn't think it would make sense, but maybe it does make sense. VPN, virtual private network. If you don't use a VPN, if you don't use a virtual private network to protect yourself online, well, you should. And right now you can get 75% off a 3-year plan at nordvpn.com/Casey. NordVPN is a service that I've been using for years. That is years before we ever did this brand deal, because I think they have one of the best products in the space. It's super basic to use. They have a very simple plugin if you use Chrome. It works on Windows and Mac and Android and iPhone. I can't stress the importance of internet safety enough. It's one of those things where it's like a nothing until you get your identity stolen, and then you're in a world of hurt because of it. NordVPN can protect you from that. So please, go check out NordVPN, nordvpn.com/Casey. You get 75% off a 3-year plan. It's a super good deal. nordvpn.com/Casey. nordvpn.com/Casey. Thank you, Nord, for sponsoring my video, and also thank you for sponsoring a lot of YouTube channels. Really appreciate it. nordvpn.com/Casey. That's got to be the most nostalgic NordVPN commercial ever made. This process really brought me back to when I first got this studio like 15 years ago, and we had one room and we had to make it work. So let me share with you some of the big changes in here. So the biggest change is this wall here. Per my lease with my landlord, I had to hire contractors to build the wall, and then I had to turn that wall into something. Now, making use of my new wall was really easy because this used to lead to the other half of the studio, which was actually like 60% of my square footage, of like the real estate, of the space. So I had to take 100% of stuff and cram it into 40% of space. So utilizing this wall was instrumental to that. This is the wall. Maybe it's better with the curtain. Better. So I moved all the skateboards over here, all the boosted boards here, used the space above them to put my Janus film collection, my body armor, my ladder, bolt cutters, tiny skateboard, work harder light, and some other tchotchkes and stuff. I also built this monster shelf above the wall there to put the paintings up. Next in the world of big changes is this station here, these two stations here. If you remember, that's where the boosted boards used to be. Now it's where I've got two stations. This is my Mac here, it's my PC back here. Some of the cameras, the ones I still sort of use, are here. Power down here. It's a shallow desk because it's just meant for like sitting at and editing. This is not like in any event. I think it feels good. It's an efficient use of space. Shout out to Main Gear. They're the ones who built the custom Casey PC. In a space like this, especially when you have as much stuff as I have, you have to take advantage of every square inch. Now I considered throwing away my books. Like sometimes you just can't store everything. You can't be a hoarder. Sometimes you have to throw things out, even if they're important to you. But I didn't. Saved all of my books, which required us to build these bookshelves all the way up here. Not an easy feat. These walls here are made out of plaster. It's hard to get anything to stick to them, but I'm very proud of the bookshelves. And the hardest part of this whole process was what to keep and what to let go of. There was way more letting go of things than there was keeping things, and that's not easy. The general rule I tried to adhere to was, if I don't use it or didn't know I had it, no matter how cool it was, how fancy the equipment was, how much nostalgia I had attached to it, if I didn't even know it existed, we just got rid of it. There was a lot of getting rid of stuff. There were a lot of aspects of the move from New York City, leaving New York City, that were emotionally really hard for me. But this wasn't. I mean, this was technically hard. It was a huge pain in the ass doing all this, but this wasn't, this was like a fun, exciting part of the moving process. Knowing that when I come back to New York, even though I don't have a place to stay, that I have this studio to look forward to is it's just an exciting thing. It's also kind of nice to know that when I'm in Los Angeles, a little part of me is still here, taking up like 300 square feet, 250 square feet in downtown Manhattan. So that makes me feel good. It's like a little window that I left open that I can come back through anytime. So I think we did a good job with it. I think the way that the new mini studio turned out is awesome. It's been like 2.5, 3 weeks since I left New York, and I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to go back and work out of that space. As far as like building a new studio here, it's been way more exciting and way more refreshing than I'd anticipated. So I'm very excited to share whenever it's done my new California studio, and I'm also just super psyched to be building that out. Okay, all right, see you next time. LA car culture is so cool.